Somebody say, presence of the Lord. Now, Minister Adams, I do have a problem with this teaching. Is a little orthodox. That means, how can I prove to you that God present is with you when you can't see him? Come on, let's talk. Let's be real. If you go to class, they call roll, and they call your name, and you have to be in the place to say what? Present. And y'all went to different school, but in my class, you have to be in the classroom, not in the hallway, not on the bus, not heading down the hall, but in the classroom to be what? Present. So that, I think, I'm just setting it up. I think a lot of us equate God to man and forget that God don't have to be present to be present. Come on, talk to me, somebody. Did you get it? Did you get it? You know. Uh, so tonight we're going to deal with this. We're going to study from Scripture the presence. Know what I said? The presence of the Lord. The dictionary says it's a state of existing, occurring, or being present in a place or thing. It also says a person that exists who is unseen. That can't be me, and that can't be you. Y'all see me, right? I see you too. Now, who I do not see, because I'm not leisure to have that petition, if anybody on visual watching me from Facebook, I don't see them, but they can see me. Right? Come on, talk. So the Lord present is not seen with the eye, but with enlightening of his word. That's on your handout. Did you get a handout? Okay, that's on your handout. Okay. I'm going to read it again. The Lord's presence is not seen with the eye. I could have said only, because there are people that saw him incarnated as a son. But we see him with the enlightening of his word. Am I in the building by myself? So we see omnipresence, meaning present everywhere at all times. Now this gonna help somebody tonight. I know last week we had food for the spirit, for the soul, and they came, but food for the flesh. I got food for the spirit, and they didn't show up. But you get fat, but you don't want to be faithful. Y'all know I just like to mess with y'all. Come on, just have a little fun. And we were glad everybody came last week for the food. Amen. Amen. Got you a plate to go home. Amen. So when you look at what I'm teaching tonight, God is everywhere. But there's something about when you obey him. Yeah, I got one class member. You can feel his presence. But when you're disobedient, you don't even want to be around his presence. It's not that he's not there. He's always there. When you go to the Bible, I think it's John 4:4, first epistle of John 4:4, it said, greater is he that's in us than he that's in the world. So God's presence is everywhere. But I wonder tonight, maybe y'all can help me. Now, maybe y'all can help me. Maybe I need to help y'all. We can help each other. Say, let's help each other, Pastor. Am I light enough? Because I didn't turn on the spotlights. Am I light enough? Okay, that's good. See, maybe we can do it without the spotlight sometime. Since I know from what I just read and been reading and studying that I can't hide and go nowhere and hide from God, why do we think we're getting away? Write this down. Write this down if you want to write down something real good. Just because God don't say nothing don't mean he don't see you. Write that down. Just because he don't say nothing doesn't mean he don't see you. And we sing this song back when you said, well, some people they got a song out, his eyes on the sparrow. I know he watches over me. Right? So just because God didn't say nothing when you was where you shouldn't have been, or let me give another credit, just because God didn't say nothing because you were a place you should have been. Because sometimes God will send you somewhere and you don't feel like you got his presence. Wow. Now, I know that was good. There, I can't. Yeah. God will send you sometime on assignment and you feel like he's not there. Because the person he sent you to don't want to receive what he said to you send. But that don't mean he's not there. He's there. All right? I got in this marriage thing I do. I said when I'm doing, I said, God is our unseen guest here today. And he hears everything. Matter of fact, he knows what you're gonna think. He knows what you're thinking. Matter of fact, if you write your vows or I repeat the vows, he still knows what you're gonna say. I'm just trying to have a little fun. His presence is everywhere. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, class. I had to get to this point in my life that I can't play dodgeball with God. Because he's gonna hit me every time. Y'all. And if he don't hit you, one day he couldn't hit you. He just let you know. Thought you were winning that time. Okay? Now, I want to talk tonight about, let's go to the book of the first one here. I want to talk about, write this down. Number one, it says his presence is a what? Blank present to calm us, right? You got number one on the blank? Y'all got the same page I got? Number one blank, fill it in. Settling. His presence is a settling presence. Settling, not setting, settling. I see Margaret looking, I gotta explain it. I saw the frown on your face. I already seen it. Yes. What that means, settling means he clears up something for you. To calm you down. Go watch this here. Let's go to the Bible. You have to go to the Bible now. I got to take you to the Bible. Go to Exodus. Go to Exodus chapter 33. Let's see what I want to start at. Exodus, first book behind Genesis. If you can't find Exodus, I don't know. Where am I help you at? Think about Exodus. It means what? Being delivered. That's what it means. Exodus means being delivered. God went to Exodus. God used the book of Exodus to tell Moses to go deliver my people. Okay? Exodus 33. I'm going to tell you what I started reading that. This is so powerful. We can just probably read all of it, but let's see where I'm starting. Y'all know there's a story behind after the golden calf. Moses went up to be with God. While Moses was away, the folks persuaded his brother, Aaron, and them to do some crazy stuff. And they lied on God. They lied on he lied on the calf. He said he was making it, just jumped in the fire, just came out like that. And Moses was so upset, God was going to kill them all. Now watch what happened. I'm gonna go to first chapter 33. Let's go to just go to chapter 33. We ain't no rush. Let's go to chapter 33. So the Lord plagued the people because of what they did with the calf which Aaron made. Now this is gonna help you. It's gonna help you tonight. You gotta be careful by making them little secret gods and think God don't see them. Well, I would do this, but I got to do this today. Now, let me tell you something. God don't mind you having some time where you can do things with your family, your friends, your co-workers, but don't ever put God second in nothing. I'm trying to hold my peace tonight, Kathy. I don't want to holler too loud. They made a golden calf from the jewelry they had, and now God is upset. Oh, y'all don't think God get upset? We like to talk about the one side of God. We don't like to talk about the other side. Mama always told me, boy, don't play with a truck. If it hit you, it'll kill you. And God bigger than anything you can make. Watch it. God don't have to hit you. God just stop letting you breathe. Now let's move on. Watch this. Watch it. Watch it. So you see what God got a plague, right? Y'all reading it? But that was in verse 35. Look at verse 33. Then the Lord said to Moses, depart and go up from here, you and the people whom you have brought out of the land of Egypt. You see, y'all don't understand. God gives the leader a great responsibility to try to lead you somewhere some of y'all don't even want to go. Teach, pastor, teach, pastor. Look what he said. Then the Lord said to Moses. Now watch this, Carolyn. He said the Lord plagued the people. He was mad with the people. But he speaks to Moses. He was upset with the people, right? But he speaks to Moses. Then the Lord said to Moses, depart and go up from here, you and the people whom you have brought out of the land of Egypt, to the land of which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, to your descendant I will give it. Notice he said who? Three people, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? How many of y'all know when God makes a promise, he can perform that promise? But how many of you know sometimes when we don't follow the principles for the promise to come, we sometimes miss the promise and have to go through pain before we see it. All right, that was good right there. It ain't that the promise ain't there, but you're trying to skip the principles to get the promise. And you're going to deal with some pain before the promise comes. I want to say this tonight. One of the most dangerous things we can do is be disobedient to God. Just because he don't destroy you don't mean he like it. Now, why would he say it? He said, I will send my angel. Watch this. I will send my angel before you, and I will drive out the Canaanites. Look at the mercy of God. And the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. How y'all know they still got some sites today, don't y'all? They still got them Jebusites and they got them Canaanites. He said, go up to a land flowing with milk and honey. Look at that. Look at that. Look at verse 3. Go up to a land flowing with milk and honey. Listen, good God Almighty, I feel something here. When God trying to move you from one place, he never try to move you from a place less than the place you're going to. He said, when y'all was in Egypt, you didn't have nothing. You had to make bricks. I'm taking you to a land flowing with milk and honey. Okay. Okay. Now, what he says? He said, for I will not go up in your midst. He said, lest I consume you on the way. For you are stiff-necked. Please tell somebody. Please tell somebody. Lord, let the pastor stay here. Y'all miss what I just said. I've heard people say to some pastors and some teachers, let the Lord tell me then. He just told you when I told you. He used us as a buffer, as a filter. Come on. And when he see you messing up now, he don't really use me. He used Moses as a filter. But he using me. He don't use me no more. He used Jesus as a filter. Because when you look at my sin and your sin, if he would deal with us based on our sin, he would destroy us right then. But when you look at Jesus, he see the blood. Y'all are going to make me holler. Because we still stiff-necked. Now, if God calls you stiff-necked, you stiff-necked. I don't care what you say. You ain't got to get mad at me. I didn't say it. That Bible said, go up. Look. He said, I consume you on the way. Because you are stiff-necked people. Now, you know you got some people stubborn. Tell somebody stubborn. Wait a minute. Watch this. He said, now listen. Go up. I'm going to send an angel. I will not go. Now, there's some people you ought to want to go with you. But make sure God is with you also. Because most of us say, that's good enough. Just send me an angel. I go with the angel. Watch Moses. Watch what Moses said. And when the people heard this bad news, verse 4. Y'all got it? When the people heard the bad news, they murmured, and no one put on his armor. Watch this. When the people heard the bad news, tell somebody when they heard the bad news. The result of the people's sin is now making itself felt with great sorrow. They are now discovering that what joy sin may bring is eventually canceled out by the sorrow. Can I help y'all tonight? Sin will keep you in sorrow rather than in joy. Ain't nobody gonna help me tonight. Watch this. They are now discovering that what joy sin may have brought is eventually canceled out by sorrow. Let me tell somebody that though. That's good in a way. And if you can sin and don't feel sorry about it, you might not be saved. Huh? Yeah. If you sin and know you to sin, or after you sin, or by omission, like what you got omitted, and it doesn't bother you, something wrong with you. I think I lost. Anybody disagree with that? Okay, okay. I just want to make sure. Watch this here. Look at verse 5. Look at verse 5. Verse 5. For the Lord has said to Moses, say to the children of Israel. See, he's still talking to Moses, telling them people what to say. You are a stiff-necked people. Now, if God said it twice, that means they didn't catch it the first time. Or he want to make sure you understand who I'm calling you. Whenever God says something twice, he's trying to get your attention. When he called Abraham, he said, Abraham, Abraham. Isaac, Isaac. Jacob, Jacob. And God been repeating some stuff to us, and we act just like we don't even hear it. Why? What he said? He said, you are a stiff-necked people. I could come up into your midst. I could come up into your midst in one moment and consume you. He said, you don't know who you're messing with. Let me just break it down. He said, you don't know who you're messing with. You know how when folks think they're messing with somebody bad in the family, and you call that bad boy in the family, and then when the bad boy in the family comes, everybody started scattering. God said, you don't know who you messing with. He said, now watch this here. He said, now therefore, take off your ornaments, that I may know what to do to you. I know y'all wondering what that is. I'm going to help you right now. Right. Because he had made a promise to them. And even though they were stiff-necked, he was giving them another chance. Not a second chance, another chance. That's why he said, I can't come up there. If I come up there, he said, if I come up there, I'm so justice, I got to do justice. Y'all miss what I said. He says, I got to use Moses as a mercy piece between me and you. I got to keep my word. Here you go. Ointment. No man did put on his armor. The children of Israel stripped themselves of the armor by the Mount Horeb. Wait, hear what armor means. The armor meant that he wanted them to remove what they thought was their glory. Because the removal of the army was the removal of the people's glory, for jewelry glorified the appearance of a person. Remember, they got started because they took the jewelry off and made a calf. But they kept some of it. You know, watch this here. Oh, come on. Watch people today. Soon as they sign, oh, I ain't mad at nobody. Please don't get mad if y'all watching me. Soon as they sign a big contract, they got a big old piece of gold around their neck. Showing how much I worth. Jerry Jones on the whole team and ain't got not a ring on. You don't see no big chain around Jerry Jones' neck. Warren Buffett, you don't see no big chain around his neck. Time us make it to the stage. It could be a form of if you cherish that. Don't get me wrong. Don't get mad at me. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy it. But don't buy it and flirt it like this make me better than somebody else. God said, pull off your gold because I don't need gold because I'm God. He said, if I need gold, all the silver and gold belongs to me. That's what. Let me watch this. Watch this. So here the people lost glory as a result of the bad news. So to go back from even further, they lost glory as a result of their sin. So what they did, sin said it will honor the transgressor, but it was due sooner or later it will kill you. Sin make you feel good, but it don't tell you what gonna cost you. Because let's come up out here with y'all Holy Ghost self. You wouldn't do sin if it didn't feel good. Johnny Taylor was sneaking in the back door, cigarette lady. It felt good. Al Green was doing good till he went to bed and stole the grits on him. Everybody know when you was doing that stuff, it was pleasure to you at that moment. Ain't nobody gonna be honest with me tonight but me. Now that's why I don't get mad at y'all young people, because some of y'all young people ain't grown up yet. Y'all still babies in the spiritual. But I'm, as an old man, I'm gonna tell you, learn quickly because it's gonna cost you a lot to pay for it. I remember the first time I got really convicted. It was when I realized God was telling me I need to change. I mean, really, not look like I changed, but really change. And I couldn't listen to the same music no more. Now, I ain't got nothing to do with y'all listening to y'all music. Y'all live what y'all want to listen to till God change you. But he didn't change me. Now, if I get in your car and you got on the wrong station, you take me down the block, change it till I get out. Or just turn it down. Now, if it's a little music, it ain't nothing nasty. But I got in some folks' car like, oh, Reverend. Why would he say? Why would he say? Why? Are we okay? Look what he said. He said, tell them, take off the armament that I may know what to do to you. What to do to you. So the children of Israel stripped themselves of the armament by Mount Horeb. Now, what do you mean? What they tell somebody they stripped themselves? Isn't that what God is telling us? To strip ourselves of ourselves. Stop being so self-sufficient, self-sufficient. It already have self-esteem, but don't let your self-esteem make you act crazy. He said, strip yourself. He wanted them to get to the point where they had to depend on him. Now, watch what the Bible said, verse 7. I'm going to move on. So Moses took his tent. And pitched it outside the camp. How many of y'all ever read this story before? Okay, good. Okay, my Chris read it. He said he pitched his tent outside the camp, far from the camp, and called it the tabernacle of meeting. And it came to pass that everyone who sought the Lord went out to the tabernacle of meeting, which was outside the camp. Ah, that's good right there. Something just hit me. I don't want to holler right now, but somebody tell me what happened right there. Tell me what just happened. What you just see just happened in that text. Read it. Anybody got a different translation? You got the message? What you got, Chris? Okay. You got a message about it? Read it. Watch this here. Can I teach it? Said, teach me, Pastor. God spoke to Moses in a tent that was set up for that purpose. He said, pitch it without the camp, afar off from the camp. The tent was set up far away from the camp. Watch this here. Which symbolic represent the judgment upon Israel of God leaving them. The judgment of God upon Israel leaving them. So God could speak to Moses anywhere, but moving the tent out of the camp taught the lesson that sin will result in the loss of God's presence. So God had to move the tent away from the place where they've been sinning, because it was going to lose his presence. I'm going to help you. You may lose many things in life, but the worst thing you can lose is to lose the presence of God. I'm going to say it again. You and I might lose a lot of things in life, but the worst thing you can lose is the presence of God. And what makes you lose the presence of God? I just told you, sin. Now he's everywhere. Come on. That's why I told you it was a hard lesson to teach tonight. And I'm going to teach it on it. Because when I say present, you say present. That means you're there. I don't know about y'all. Y'all got a daddy. I got a daddy. I got a master. I'm his pastor. Y'all got a daddy who's your father. You can't see. You can't touch. You can talk to. But he don't send him back verbally. But he got a word to speak back to you. Y'all ain't gonna help me tonight. But yet he sees you. So his presence is everywhere. But sin blocks us from feeling his presence. Ooh, but don't get unhappy. This is good. Now, why would it say it? Watch it. So they pinched it. Remember, I'm gonna say it again. This symbolic represent the judgment upon Israel of God leaving them. God could speak to Moses anywhere, but moving the tent out of the camp taught the lesson that sin will result in the loss of God's presence. Okay, Kathy, are you ready? Now, you see the position of the tent, but now you must see the pursuit of the tent. Ask somebody, are you really to go after God? Watch this here. Everyone which sought the Lord went out unto the tabernacle of the congregation, which was without the camp. I'm going to teach this name. You can't hang out with the crowd that don't want to come to church. Well, I feel God present everywhere. Yes, you do, maybe. But God present is in his house because he set up his house to be his house of worship. Come on, I don't need to go to church to be saved. No, I don't either. But since I'm saved, I'm showing up. I ain't saying this. I don't come to be saved every Sunday. I come to be sustained every Sunday. I come to be sustained with power to go back out and live like I'm supposed to live. That's why sin will keep you away from pursuing God. Are y'all ready? Moving the tent away from the camp did not prohibit people from seeking God, but required 4 things they need to do. Y'all want to know what they were? Here they are. They must have a passion for God. You right? You got all kinds of notes on your back of the paper. People go where their passion is. You ain't gonna. I've seen folks, somebody they broke when it come to giving money to the church. But I see them everywhere else, all kind of cruises. Because they got a passion to do that, and they'll get the payment if they got the passion. See, a passion for God means more effort would be required to go outside the camp to meet with God. Let me help y'all. I don't care what it takes. Whatever I need to do to get close to God, that's what I'm going to do. Tell somebody you got a passion. And when you got a passion, don't let folks don't have no passion make them mess up your passion. Oh, we're gonna have Bible classes the whole month of February, of November and December. Then secondly, you must have a public stand. You must have a public stand. That means you could not go to this tent outside the camp unnoticed. Did you hear what I say? I thought I'm teaching. Boy, I'm trying to teach tonight. I said you must make a public stand. God is not impressed with those private Christians. Matter of fact, you can't be a private Christian. Wait a minute. A public stand. If you left that old camp, somebody noticed you going to the tabernacle. You know why some people don't come to church? Because they don't want their friends noticing them coming to church. Because they don't want to take a public stand. Yes, I went to church. Girl, you went to church today. So y'all can come. Some of y'all can testify right up in here. God, you went to church today, and all they want is money. All they beg for tithe. And I bet he asked for 3 offerings, and we asked for 1 offering. But you had to take a public stand. No, I didn't go to church. And I paid my tithes, and I ain't ashamed of it either. But they notice you because you are not unnoticed when you leave the crowd. When you leave the crowd, they ought to notice you walking their way. But they ought not notice you coming back either in the same way. Teach, Pastor. Then you must have a passion for God, a public stand. Thirdly, you must have a personal separation. One must separate from others, especially those not going to the tent. If you want to go to the tent, don't let the folk that don't want you to go to the tent make you stay at home with you. Now, this is heavy for married couples. But let me tell you something. Your husband or your wife ain't got no heaven or hell to put you in. And you might not go to hell for staying at home with them, but you'll miss some good blessings. He might want to drink Bud and you want to read the Bible. You go ahead and tell him you want to have your Miller Lite. You have your Miller Lite, but I'm going to give me some word from the God because I need some mercy today. And I'm telling you what's going to happen. Ooh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Let me get the last one. You must have that personal separation, but you must also, fourth thing you must have a painful scorn. Here's what I'm going to say to you. Others would mock those going to the tent. A painful scorn. Painful scorn. They're going to mock you. They're going to talk about you. Who would have been trying to live right and your friend been talking about you? Ain't nobody in here going, I heard come. How many of y'all been coming to Bible class lately and people been talking about you because you going to Bible class? But you know why you got to deal with that? Because they notice the difference. Somebody said to me one time in my young days of marriage, because Maggie, that was my sweetheart, still is. And the guys want to go do crazy stuff. And I wouldn't go. They called me henpeck. You know what I did? I went home to my hen so she could peck me. At least I'm getting pecked by the right hen. Because I never liked that little MISC on my check stub. Miscellaneous. Child support. And anything else. So you got to understand. Watch this here. So others would mock those going to the tent. Why? Because people will mock you when they see you going to get change. See, walking with God still involve those same things today. If you're going to walk with God, you got to have a passion. Tell somebody you got to have a passion. You got to take a public stand. And you got to be able to separate yourself personally, and you got to be able to deal with the pain when they talk about you. Talk about me all you want, but I ain't turning back. So God had to move. See, watch this. That's why God got the church. That's why the church supposed to be different than the club. You don't supposed to be rocking in the church like you're rocking in the club with the same music. Dropping it hot, picking it up like a light. Praise dance ought to have a different praise dance. It's okay to praise. Look, I love our praise dance, but you can't just praise dance showing everything. You ought to at least hear a hymn in the church once every month. But the culture don't want that because they're taking a stand. Okay, y'all don't want to talk to me. That was just verse 7. All right? Now look at verse 8. So it was whenever Moses went out to the tabernacle that all the people rose and each man stood at his tent door and watched Moses until he had gone into the tabernacle. This funny here. I can't even get people to come watch me come into church. Came and watched Moses go to the tent. It was something about that tent. You know why God had to move that tent? Because if he hadn't moved that tent, they would still be in the same place with no place to go. I'll catch you sooner or later. Come on. He had to move it because there wouldn't have been no place to go. And where they were, they thought it was okay until they saw a different place to go. Have you ever thought you was okay till you saw a different place to go? Okay. All right. Okay. Now watch what happened. Watch what happened. We're getting to the good part. I'm going to show you why so he's selling. So he will look. So and it came to pass, verse 9, when Moses entered the tabernacle, that the pillar of cloud descended and stood at the door of the tabernacle. And the Lord talked with Moses. Wait a minute. When Moses entered the tabernacle, the cloud pillar descended and stood at the door of the tabernacle. And the Lord talked with Moses. And what it goes on saying. And what? All the people did what? And all the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the tabernacle door. And all the people rose and worshiped each man in his tent door. Every man did what he needed to do. Now, isn't this amazing? God loved them so much. He took a cloud and put the cloud at the door. And the cloud stood at the door and didn't move. You ain't never seen no cloud at no door. You would have passed out if you seen a cloud at the door. And a talking cloud. I know you haven't, Kathy. I haven't either. And we don't want to see it. You remember when Peter, John, and James went up on the mountain? A cloud came up there and said, "This is my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased." God's still talking from the cloud. God don't need no technology system. He don't have to put nothing up in the air to talk. He just talk. And folks that got good ears, what the Spirit is saying, listen. Watch this here. Listen, watch this. The cloud pillar is one that had led the Israelites. Y'all know it was the cloud pillar that had led them. We got all this technology. And can't nobody lead us nowhere. They was led by a cloud. Think about that. Think about that. Moses get up in the morning, cloud standing there. Cloud don't say nothing, just started floating. Moses started walking. Everybody get up. I'm going with Moses. Then at night, when they had to go at night, a pillar of fire started moving. They were still following Moses. We think we so smart. We got to have everything before we follow God. But I'm going to go somewhere. Watch this here. The presence in the pillar, the coming of the pillar to the tent door indicated God's presence. Hear that? Watch this here. Look at the people. They worship. The presence of God in the pillar will bring much thankfulness to the people because they cause them to worship and give honor to God for his presence. Do you not know every time you come in God's house, after you've been out in that world all week, and God let you walk in this door and then roll you in here through no ambulance or hearse, you come into God's presence, you ought to worship him and not come in here worrying. But you ought not wait till you get to his house to worship. You ought to worship when you wake up in the morning time. But I dare you come to his house and won't worship him. Watch what he did. Watch what he did. I'm moving on. Watch this. Y'all getting this? Y'all getting this? Tell somebody, every man worship. Can't nobody worship for you. My wife and I have this big discussion, not argument. When I preach and I go to Holland, tell your neighbor, stand up. She said, why are you always trying to make folks shout every Sunday? I said, you ain't saying that when I was on the dance floor with my head like this here. Had my shirt in my hand. Come on, let's hit the floor for the last dance. You ain't said nothing but stood back there. Gone, baby, do it. I said, but I got some news for you. Have you ever noticed if they don't, I still do? Y'all remember what I say? Have you ever noticed they don't, I still do? Because when I get to that part of the sermon, I started thinking about the goodness of God and how good God been to me. In spite of what I've done for him and against him, he's still been good to me. If you don't say nothing at that time, it don't matter to me. I'm trying to get you to come in because you ought to feel something I feel by that time. Matter of fact, 2 Chronicles chapter 6, when the cloud came in, the man of God couldn't even minister it because God's presence had took over. We done seen it happen at True Love a couple times. When God came in, because we was on one accord. I'm helping you somebody now. If we get on one accord, we'll feel his presence. And we'll see that cloud. Like sometimes I'll be preaching and y'all be telling y'all, if y'all could just see what I see, it's like it'd be a cloud and it came in the building. Because he still works. Now we got to go get some fog machines. And still ain't nobody move. Let me move on. Oh, let me get y'all here. This is how we're gonna be just on this one tonight. I'm telling you, is this good or not? Now watch it. Let's move on. We start at verse 11, right? Verse 11? No, we start at verse 10. So the Lord spoke to Moses face to face as a man speaks to his friend. And he will return to the camp. But his servant Joshua, son of Nun, a young man, did not depart from the tabernacle. Now watch this here. Joshua was there and didn't want to leave. Watch this here. The pausing of the tabernacle showed the great devotion of Joshua. When you got into devotion for the Lord, you don't want to hurry away from his presence. Some people can't wait for the benediction. And the Lord be to move all over the place. And they can't wait to get that. Let us stand. May the Lord watch over between me. There's going to come a time after tomorrow, whoever wins, we're going to have to get on our knees. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're going to have to get on our face. But what Moses does? What Moses does? Then Moses said to the Lord, see, you say to me, bring up this people, but you have not let me know whom you're going to send with me. You see verse 12? Yet you have said, I know your name, know you by name. You have also found, and you have also found grace in my sight. That was Moses telling God, you say I have found grace in your sight. Now, therefore, I pray, if I have found grace in your sight, show me your way, that I may know you and that I may find grace in your sight. And consider that this nation is your people. This is going to be good. You got to know who belongs to you and who don't. Moses said, if I'd have found grace in your sight, show me the way. How many of us start a trip and then want God to get us out of it, then instead of asking God to show me the way to start? Moses said, I ain't going nowhere. What was Moses saying? And Moses said, my presence, and he said, hear what God said, and my presence will go with you and I will give you rest. God made a promise to him. Tell somebody, God, thank you, baby. God made a promise to him. Tell somebody, God made a promise to him. When God made a promise, God said, I'm going with you. And Moses said, now I'm ready to go. Tell somebody, don't take off no more running by yourself. Make sure God is going with you. How many know if God go with you, you got somebody going with you? Watch it, Amar. If God go with you, you ain't got nobody going to go to sleep on you. If God go with you, you ain't got nobody going to trip out on you when you get in trouble. How many of y'all know when God go with you, you got somebody going with you? Tell somebody, I know he's everywhere, but I need him to go everywhere I go. Come on, somebody. And when God go with you, you got some calmness about you. I just had a meeting with some pastors today, and I said, I ain't worried about what nobody's doing. I know God is with me. That's why I want to tell y'all tonight, if you know God with you, hold your head up, lift your hands up, open your mouth up, and give God some praise, because God will keep you calm in the midst of your confusion. Won't he do it? I said, won't he do it? How many of y'all know he with you? So don't lose your priority. Don't ever lose your priority. Make sure if nobody else go with you, you make sure God is with you. Now you gotta have to leave some places sometimes, so he can take you some places you couldn't go without him. Do I have a win? I'm done. Give God a hand praise. I'm done tonight. I ain't got time. I'm out of word. I'm just out of time. It's 8 o'clock. Let's all go. It is 8 o'clock, right? No, 7:50. Oh, we got 2 more minutes. We got 2 more minutes. Come on, let's wait these 2 more. Let's use these 2 more minutes. How many of y'all have felt God present with you in a situation where you know it was God present with you? Now, watch this here. Watch this here. Watch this, Sister Joan. God present is always there, but it's something about when you know you feel it. It's like this here. Okay. You know your dad is in the house. You're a little child. You know he's in the house. But when you can pinpoint that he's in the house, I don't care what's going on. You what? A sense of security. I'm gonna ask you a question. What house can you go in too big to hide you from God? Now, hear what I love about this. Look here. God don't have to walk through doors because he is doors. Tell somebody, God is with us. So be calm, be cool, and be collected. And stop being confused. Now give God some praise. I'm done. I'm done. Tell him God is with us. Sister Bank, can I holler one time? Say, God is with us. In the rain, in the storm, in life, in the valley, in the darkness, in disease, everywhere you go, God is with you. I went to see my friend this weekend, and he said to me, Bell, one thing about it, all I've happened to me, I still ain't mad at God because God is still with me. And that was Pastor Sleep. Here's a man that lost his activity, but still looking at me and said, I still trust God. Because he knew God was still with him. You go home tonight. Don't let nobody take your passion. Don't let them take your public stand. And don't let them mess with your personal separation. And when they talk about you and scorn you, just give God a praise. You know why? Because when folks say, I know something different about you, they just testified they noticed there's been a change. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Hey, if you're watching me by Facebook, listen tonight. I hope you heard what God was saying through me. Read that Exodus chapter 33. Read the whole book of it. Matter of fact, just read it. It's detail. It's detail. Just like God took the tent, moved the tent, the tabernacle from the tent, and moved it so that people have a different place to go. Because if you don't give you a different place to go, you are living sin in the place that you're in. He had to give you a different person to go to, which was Jesus Christ. Otherwise, trying to live in your own space, you end up going to hell. But to get in his space, you can go to heaven. I'm done. God bless you. I'm out of here.